We're back here on Overtime on WOTM. Mark, you did a great job in the Braves really kind of forecasting their entire season. We talked about the lulls that they had in the first part of the year. They had a really good second half of the season, got first place and didn't relinquish it after a long time after the All-Star break, and then they were able to make their run to the championship. We know who the best team in baseball is. Now we're finding out some of the best individual awards. And for those maybe who didn't keep up with everything in May and June and July, you get a chance to really see some names that might be household names coming up a little bit later. And those are their household names now. We'll start with the Cy Young Award that was handed out tonight in the American League. Any surprise to you that the winner is Toronto Blue Jays pitcher Robbie Ray?
Robbie Ray is a guy that had major control problems. His first 7 years of his career averaging 4.3 walks per 9 innings. This year only 2.4.
Right.
That is a huge drop. And he also was one of the best at not allowing many hits.
Right.
He only allowed like a career low 7 hits per 9 innings, which is very good. And his whip was 1.04, which is a career low for him. Going into this year, first 7 seasons, 1.34 whip. So he really had like a shocking change.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anybody would have thought, okay, this guy's going to all of a sudden find the strike zone. Now, a pitcher who really struggled with his control early on was Sandy Koufax.
Right.
He was all over the place. And then when he found that he absolutely dominated for 6, 7 seasons, the most dominant of any pitcher in the history of baseball. I don't know if Robbie Ray can do that.
Right.
But he's always had high strikeout totals. He just couldn't put it all together with his control. So I think that this was a coming out party for him. There are a lot of names on here that were in Major League Baseball for a while, and then they've just had a breakout year.
Right, exactly. And that was kind of the oddity to see some of these. I won't call them late bloomers in a lot of ways.
Well,
but
they were.
Exactly. But in some cases, they really were. I think Robbie Ray is a good example of that.
Same thing with Dano.
Exactly. Meanwhile, in the National League, it is Corbin Burns of the Brewers that walks away with the NL Cy Young over a pair of guys that came into the year with a whole lot of hype in Zach Wheeler and Max Scherzer.
And talk about a guy, when we managed about Ray with his hits per 9 innings, 6.6 hits per 9 innings for Corbin Burns, 12.6 strikeouts per 9, a 0.94 whip. Amazing. And the other thing is he had a good 2017, an average 2018, an abysmal 2019 that was just horribly bad. He gave up, I think, 70 hits in 49 innings.
Right.
And to see the reverse now with 6 hits per 9 innings now is an absolute wonder. He has a pitch, a cut fastball, that is in the high 90s, and it drops like a split-fingered fastball. I've never seen anything like that before. He shows how he holds it. It almost defies physics.
Right.
I love physics. When I pitched, I was into that, kind of like a Trevor Bauer thing, where I was kind of obsessed with how the ball moves and how I could make it move and how it affects the batter. Burns does that really well, too. Some of these pitchers now, they're becoming really advanced at these analytics.
Exactly. Meanwhile, going over to the Rookie of the Year award, Randy Zarena for the Rays, as well as Jonathan India of the Reds, both taking home that award. And I think it's one of those things where we saw both these guys really start off the season really hot, and then in the case of our AL award winner, he had also a great playoff as well.
It's like Pat Listash winning the AL MVP, or Joe Charbonneau back in the 1980 Indians winning the AL MVP, or Bob Hamlin.
Right.
Like, you'll never really hear of these guys. Indian was a very mediocre player. India. Rosarena had a great postseason last year. That's kind of why helped him win the Rookie of the Year this year.
100%. I think that the NL and AL winners for the Manager of the Year award was, I think it was pretty easy to hit there for both these guys. For Kevin Cash, I think one of the things that a lot of Atlanta Braves fans will not know, or maybe some trivia for them, that Bobby Cox had won it back-to-back years. First manager to do so is Kevin Cash of the Rays. And then, of course, Gabe Kapler of the Giants. I mean, 107 regular season victories, especially in that division with the Dodgers in there as well.
And the Padres.
Just a phenomenal for both, really.
Can I say that Kevin Cash was money?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Kevin,
there you go.
I think the pun works. Kevin Cash, most certainly
He was
money. Exactly, especially with that team and sending them to the #1 seed. And finally, the MVP awards will be handed out coming up tomorrow night. the 3 finalists for each league. You see on your team here. If you had a vote for this, for the MLB MVP, who do you like in both leagues?
It's more obvious in the AL. Vlad Guerrero, he has a slugging percentage over 1,000, 311 batting average, 600, or an OPS over 1,000, slugging percentage over 60. Leads with 363 total bases. In the NL, I wouldn't give it to any of these guys. I really wouldn't. Bryce Harper, he has the best stats.
Right.
But Bryce Harper, to me, is a clubhouse guy that doesn't succeed. He's never won a playoff series. He went from the Nationals to the Phillies. All of a sudden, the Nationals win when he leaves. The Phillies are the epitome of an underachiever, of gutlessness. And that's what Bryce Harper, look, I'm sorry, I don't like Bryce Harper. I think Juan Soto is a very good player. I think Tatis is a very good player.
Right.
And Harper's a talented player.
For sure.
But Harper's got to win. He's got to win. He never has. I don't think any of these guys should win. If I had to force a vote, Harper has the best stats.
Exactly, and we'll have a situation there where first time in a very long time where the MVP would not have been in a playoff game. I do think in the American League, I'd still have to give it to Ohtani because of what he was able to do at the plate, 40-plus home runs, and then be able to be a really good pitcher as well. I like both Blue Jays players, but I'd give it to Shohei Ohtani. And I like you. I like Bryce Harper as an individual talent.
Yeah.
However, I think I'd give my vote to Fernando Tatis. But the injuries, I think, really hurt him as far as being able to put up the gaudy numbers that we would have seen. Little nicks and bruises here and there. And honestly, I think that I'm not really surprised at who wins that award coming up tomorrow night.
And these are 3 really, really talented
For
players.
sure. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
There's no doubt about that. So my issue with Harper isn't his talent. It's just that he never wins.
Right. Yeah, and we'll see who the votes go to coming up tomorrow night on the Major League Baseball Network. Well, coming up next here on Overtime, we'll go to our college football picks. We'll have our picks from last week, and we'll show you how we did. We also have our picks for this week. We also have a special anniversary celebration.